Hey there, everyone! Happy Friday. We personally decided to make a new video on the self confidence. Yesterday we had one made last night. However, we really felt that we didn't do enough justice to the topic, and that we knew that there was so much more that we could share about it, and that we could have been clearer in the video as well, and made it much simpler for people to understand. So hence the reason why we decided to make a new one. I'm going to dive right into the topic, without any delays. However, what I want to say is that this question is a really powerful question, because there's so many levels and so many depth to so much of depth to the question of self confidence. And the first question that we've got to ask ourselves is that, is this lack of self confidence in our life, is it caused by someone, or is it caused by something which we are responsible for in our own lives? By knowing that answer itself, what it does is that it begins to set light on the issue a little bit more. I'm going to tell you why later on. However, first, when it comes to the crystals that I personally would pick for this case, when it comes to self confidence, and it comes and the question was that she had ideas and plans in her head, and but it was impossible. Just that she found it hard to put it into action, or even to get it done, and when it comes to I'm going to touch specifically on this for self confidence. However, the message that I'm going to share with you would apply in many different areas of our lives as well, in terms of when it comes to the question of self confidence and procrastination and not being able to do the things that we want to do. So the stones that I would personally pick for this particular case would definitely be citrine, would be tiger's eye, it would even be rose quartz. I know how it sounds, and you'll be surprised with the answer, but let me tell you why later on. And it may also be stones to do with vitality and life and abundance, such as mookaite and jasper. However, self-confidence is, to me, it's about a lot about the trust that we build with ourselves. It's about not betraying ourselves. That's number one. And it's about respect, the respect that we have for ourselves. Why do I say that? A lot of us tend to listen to what people has to say about us, and we tend to listen to the judgment of others that others have based on us, and based on what they think our life should be, or what we should be doing or shouldn't be doing. And hence, if we feel that we are not living up to their expectations, what happens is that it chips off on our self-confidence, and it makes us feel that we are not worthy, or we're not enough, or we're not good enough, or we're not being accepted in society, and that makes us feel like a failure sometimes. That part for me, I feel that is the highest betrayal that we can ever do in our lives, is to betray ourselves, and it's a really common thing. I've battled with it. I think everyone here has battled with it at some point of our lives, but I'm only going to share with you based on the experiences that I've had, and how I overcame it with the help of crystals, number one, and also how I overcame it in my mind and in my body, in my emotions and in my soul. Another thing that aids self-confidence, I would say, is the belief or the trust that we create in ourselves. So what do I mean by trust or belief that we create in ourselves? Trust can come in the form of example, are we doing the things that we set our minds out to do? So for example, if I say, okay, Josh, today I'm going to be doing social media marketing. I'm going to learn about ads a little bit more. I'm going to learn about Amazon a little bit more. I'm going to learn about how I can expand the retail a little bit more. I'm going to be doing I have to post a blog post today. I have to update the web on the write-ups in the web today. I have to post on Instagram today. So if I set myself a certain amount of tasks, how much of these tasks am I able to complete in one day? And if I say, okay, today this is a must-do task, and I end up not doing it throughout the day, or probably for some reason, there can be many factors in our lives which stops us from doing a certain task. It can be responsibilities, it can be our job, it can be our time, it can be so many influences from the world around us, And when that happens, we won't realize it in the first day or even in the first month or so, but when it carries on for a long time, a few months or maybe a few weeks or sometimes even a few days, you start notice a shift in your energy. Is that these tasks they are piling up day after day, day after day, day after day, and what happens is that you feel that you're not adequate enough, or that you're not living up to your greatness, or you're not living up to the expectations or that you have on yourselves, and you feel that you've let yourself down. You feel that you're letting everyone else around you down, and that also chips off a lot of our self-confidence. So I've faced these two before, and I've battled these two, and I have to keep myself in check every now and then, because these things are I will always set goals for myself which are really huge, really ridiculous, and with time frames which are out of this world. However, the reason I do that is because I don't want to cut myself on too low, because I know that I'm capable of doing a certain amount of work, and then I know I'm capable of achieving something. However, what I also need to know or learn is that there are also outside forces which requires my time and attention, and these forces are going to take away the energy and take away the time that I have to do the work that is required to do. So in yesterday's video, what I actually spoke about was about the about setting realistic goals for ourselves. You know, like making sure that the time frame that we set is in line with what we truly believe we can achieve, and to maybe quicken it up a bit. So it gives us that little bit of pressure, that little bit of push, but not too much of pressure, not too much of push that we go completely under without achieving it. However, I've always said that I wanted to do that for myself as well. But however, I'm learning to do that a little bit better right now. But a good part of the past at least 10 years, 12 years since I've started doing business, I found myself I found it really difficult to set goals which are too easy to accomplish. Why is because maybe because I feel that it bores me, or because I feel that there's not enough of challenge, and then I know that I have skills of a certain amount, and the challenge has to be on par with those skills, or or maybe a little bit more of the challenge, and which excites me, because it gets you thinking, like, is it possible to get this done? Let's try doing it, and the feeling of getting it done at the end there's nothing in the world that can ever replace that feeling. So so one of the reasons why I remade this video was because even though I wanted to, in the last one I shared about setting realistic goals, but I believe what we should really be focusing on is not setting realistic goals, but on also not only that, but also on learning how to deal with the setbacks and the failures and the negative talk that we say to ourselves. So I think this is the bigger problem when it comes to self-confidence, is that when we come face to face with these setbacks, and we are bound to get there. And why? Because the reason why is most of us don't set realistic goals for ourselves. We want bigger dreams, we want bigger goals, we want a bigger vision, and if you aspire for something greater for yourself, it lights you up like no other. It just ignites something in your soul that makes you want to go and want to keep pushing, that wakes you up in the morning, and the thing is, the thing is about goals and dreams is that 95% of them don't come true. So we've got to keep setting goals and setting dreams, and resetting goals and resetting dreams until one of it comes true. And why I say that is because a lot of ideas that we have in our heads, most of them will result in a failure. And that's what I face. However, what I've also learned is that those failures would lead us to the destiny, or to the bigger idea, or to the divine assignment, or the divine calling that we're supposed to do. So none of it goes to waste. So the trick to doing that, I've used two very powerful affirmations in my life, and until today I still continue to use them. And number one is to one of the affirmations that I tell myself is that no matter what happens to me, no matter whatever someone may have done to me. For example, if someone may have done something to me, what I'll say to myself is that though you've meant it for evil, but God will make it good. So that is one of the affirmations I tell myself. Though this did not happen the way I thought it would be, God will make it good. Though this did not go according to plan, God will make it good. And another way of saying that is that life happens for me and not to me. So what that means is that our life is always working in our favor, and that no matter what road that we take, no matter what road I could have taken in my past, I knew that somehow I will fall back on my divine calling, and I'll fall back on my divine assignment. And no matter how much failure, obstacles, or challenges that comes my way, life is somehow going to push me to the extent of where I would reach the purpose that I was supposed to fulfill when the Creator dreamt me up into this world. So this is one powerful affirmation which you can use over and over again in multiple things. When someone hurts you, when you're not being treated the way that you feel you should have, when you're not being respected, you're not being understood, when you're not being seen, when you're being unheard, or even when you play yourself low. And by saying that no matter how things went, God made it good for me today. There's a sense of comfort and a sense of security inside of you, knowing that things are going to be okay, and a sense of excitement. Today, what sparks me every morning is a sense of excitement of what's going to happen for the day. So I never used to live with this sort of. I used to live with that tension and that struggle a little bit each day, but for the past for the past 2 months at least, I've been waking up each day with the raw excitement of not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's going to come my way, not knowing what's going to happen. And I think that is a really powerful way to live. So waking up with the excitement of not knowing what's going to happen, waking up with the excitement of God, I just can't wait to see what's going to happen today. What are you going to show me today? What are you going to teach me today? What are you going to bless me with today? What are you going to give to me today? Waking up with that sort of enthusiasm drives us forward each and every day, and it helps us relish the process rather than focusing on the goal, because a goal or a dream, most of us would probably achieve one or two big goals or dreams in our lives, and that would be the pivotal moment or probably the monumental moment in our lives. However, I feel we give too much value, or we pay too much attention to the goal or the dream being achieved. Why I say that is because a lot of us delay our happiness, and we delay the reward that we give ourselves, and we always tell ourselves this thing: okay, once I achieve that, I'm going to do this for me, I'm going to do this for me, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to get that, I'm going to go on holiday, I'm going to have the best day of my life, I'm going to take my family here, I'm going to take my family there, I'm going to do this for my family, and all of those things that fuels you, that brings you happiness, that brings you excitement, is always delayed until the moment we reach to that big goal. So we tend to do this to ourselves every time we set a goal or a target or a vision for ourselves or a dream. And but what we don't realize is that very few people realize their dreams in their lifetimes. And why? It's because there's very little emphasis on appreciating the process or respecting the process, I would say. We always celebrate the big wins, but we don't celebrate the small wins that we have along the way. And I think this is probably one of the most important ingredients in building self-confidence, is to have smaller goals each day which leads up to the bigger goal, but to celebrate them as you go along. So what can you celebrate for today? What can you celebrate for right now in your life? What can you feel grateful for when you wake up? What can you feel grateful for when you go to bed? I think these are really powerful and important questions we got to ask ourselves, because I personally practice this each day. The first thing that I do and the last thing that I do before I shut my eyes is and when I open my eyes is gratitude. Is being thankful for the things that's around me, is being thankful for the experiences that I've had throughout the day, is being thankful for the people that have allowed me to meet in my life, for the lessons that have come into my life. It's about celebrating yourself in such a way that nobody else can celebrate you. We often wait for people to celebrate us, and that only happens when we have the big wins, because no one would really see the struggles that you go through. No one's going to see the sacrifices that you're going to put through for the work to get it done and to get to a certain space. However, when we are not celebrating these moments or this or the process or the small ones, what happens is that we start to lose confidence along the way. We start to lose our self-worth along the way. We start to feel that we are inadequate along the way. We get lost in the process, and it's really easy getting lost in the process, especially when you're building a dream or you're going for something bigger in your life. And the reason I say that is because um that it's really hard, it's really hard to make it in the world, and it's really hard to make your mark. However, it doesn't have to be. And why I say that, the suffering or the struggles are normally in our head. And why I say it's in our head is because we tend to cause ourselves give ourselves the pressure, and then we don't learn how to deal with the pain that comes after that, or we don't learn how to deal with the setbacks that comes after that. But by learning how to celebrate yourselves in little ways each day, it builds on that confidence on yourself. It gives you that momentum that you need to move forward and to propel yourself forward. And um and and the thing is, each time we reach a big goal, I most of us would celebrate, probably will celebrate or relish the moment, probably for a few, it can be for a few minutes, a few hours, maybe a day or two, maybe a month, maybe a year. However, the feeling's going to subside, and then we'll start to look for the next challenge and what's next, and how to get something more. So what life really is not the destination. It really is a transition. So life is about a process that we go through each and every day with ourselves. It's the process of growth, it's the process of learning, it's the process of the thrill of and excitement of and the hope of building a dream with very little chance of getting there. And it's that this process of this part in life that gives us that juice to move forward each and every day. And the only way to get by it successfully, and to get by it joyfully, most importantly, to get by it with balanced emotions, with the right mind, to make proper decisions, is to make sure that we keep ourselves intact. And the way to doing that is to appreciate and respect the process, because there's something about a process that makes things valuable. Most of us wouldn't mind paying more for something which is crafted by hand, especially if it's handmade, if you've seen the process of the creation come to life, versus getting something that's factory made, because we know the love, we know the skill, the attention, and there's something magical about that process. There's a personal touch in it which nothing else can replace. And process is about respect. It's about respecting the artistry behind the work. It's about respecting the artistry of the outcome that's going to come into your lives. And we often expect it to be fast, and I think that's the mistake when that happens, because whatever's going to come fast in our lives is never going to last, and that's a known fact. However, things that take time, things that are given the time for it to grow and to groom, there's something about my mom makes wonderful dishes in the slow cooker, but there's something about the slow cooker, that the taste that it extracts from the food, from the ingredients in there, that we cannot get in a microwave, or we cannot get in something that's instant. And it's the same thing that goes with everything else in life. There's a juice, or there's a flavor inside of us that needs to be extracted in this process. And it's that extraction that gives meaning, and gives depth, and gives purpose to what we do in our lives. So I think a lot of us cut ourselves short on this, and a lot of us don't pay enough attention to this part of our lives. We are always very excited of getting to the goal, because that's where the reward is. However, I can tell you that the true reward really comes in the journey, because it's really the person that you become, is the person that you've grown into, is the mentality that you have, or the emotions, the emotional stability that you've grown, the spiritual connection that you've built in this process, which really gives you that really gives meaning to what to the win in the end. It is not the win itself that gives meaning, it's the process and the person that you've become that gives meaning to the win. So what I want to say when it comes to this question is that respect the process, respect ourselves. I think I think we always play ourselves short, and that's the reason why I chose rose quartz as one of the stones to come with self confidence, is because I think we sometimes treat ourselves a little bit too harsh, and we tend to pile on a kind of pressure on ourselves, which in the end we end up beating ourselves for it, and we say horrible things to ourselves, we criticize ourselves. The saying is true, where we are our own worst critic, and I believe that in every ounce of my soul, because I've done that too. However, today I'm my best fan right now, and I don't expect anyone to celebrate me, but I celebrate myself each day, and I make sure that I do what is it that I need each day to keep myself going, to keep myself moving forward. I give myself a pat on my back. Literally, I give myself a pat on my back, a pat on my heart, to say to yourself, Josh, job well done. You did well today. I'm proud of you, Josh. I'll look myself in the mirror and I'll say, I'm really proud of you, Josh. What you did today for that lady, what you did today for the young kid, how you helped these 3 children this morning. This is what I would do to myself each and every day, just to keep myself going, because I think it's important to recognize the good that we are doing in each and every action that we take, as well as we recognize also the not so good that we are taking, because we often tend to only focus on the negatives, while ignoring the positive and taking the positives like a norm in our lives, whereas the negatives, we tend to emphasize on it more, and we tend to pay more attention and more focus on it, and that's why we always have that traction inside of us. However, what I've realized is that there is a duality in life, and then there needs to be balance. So there needs to be attention to the negative for us to grow, for us to figure out, okay, where is it that I need to work on, what is this moment trying to teach me right here, where should I turn, what should I do, what is it that I don't understand, what should I learn more, and then also celebrating the positives equally, as and giving as much attention as you give to the not so goods in your life. So having said that, that is my reason for choosing those stones, because those stones will give you the willpower to do it. It will give you that drive, or that sense of clarity. What Tiger's Eye does is that it connects us with ourselves intuitively in such a way where your inner voice becomes so loud that it's hard to ignore, and a lot of us silence that voice inside of us, and Tiger's Eye helps amplify that inside of us, and it gives you the willpower, that willpower to get things done. It connects you to yourself, it connects you to the environment and the people around you. It gives you the grounding effect. Citrine gives you a wonderful burst of energy, a burst of abundance, a burst of happiness, a burst of bliss in your life, and it gives you that drive, that drive like no other, to just get things done. I've always found myself sleeping very, very little when I use citrine, and that's because of the energy boost that it gives into our lives. It's like caffeine times 1000. And the reason I say rose quartz is because I think a lot of us could do with appreciating ourselves more. A lot of us could do with celebrating ourselves more, and a lot of us could do with loving ourselves a little bit deeper each and every day, because no one is going to feel that part of your lives for you. No one is going to know you the way you know you. No one is going to build that relationship with you the way you can build that relationship with yourself. And a lot of us focus our time on building relationships with everyone else around us. We focus on furnishing it, decorating it, on doing whatever we can, renovating it, and making sure that it's the most beautiful relationship ever. Yet we neglect the most important relationship, which is the relationship that we build with ourselves inside. So I hope this would shed a lot of light on what self-confidence really is, and what we can do to never cut ourselves short again. I think if the dream is there, and if you figure out that you're procrastinating too much, there can be two things. Number one is either those procrastination is coming from fear. So are you afraid of taking action? And number two is maybe the procrastination is actually good, that it gives you the time to learn deeper about something. It gives you the time to dive a little bit deeper, to get a little bit more information, and to get more work done on it, more back work done on it. And some goals can take 4 days to come through, or 4 hours to come through, while some goals can take up to 4 months or 4 years. And And you can be assured that those that takes 4 years to come through is going to be something really powerful in quality, and it is going to reach a depth like no other. So don't bully yourself if you procrastinate. Just find out what's the reason of procrastination. Is it because you fear taking action, or because you lack knowledge on some aspects of it? And if you fear taking action, I would say jump into it. Most of us like to play the vision out in our heads, like to play the dream in our heads until the final moment. We want to see the whole road all the way through before we actually take action. But what I can tell you and what I can assure you is that we can never imagine the grand design that the universe has for us. Our imagination will never be greater than what God has planned for us, or God has imagined or dreamed up for us. I can assure you that. So just know, just recognize or realize the step that you can see as far as you can see, plan as far as you can plan, start executing, and I promise you, as you go along the way, new roads are going to open up, and that's going to give you that momentum. It's going to give you that consistency, and it's going to build on your confidence. So I hope this helped, and share with me in the comments below what your thoughts are, and take care, everyone. God bless, and happy weekend.